Hello and welcome to another timeless video. Today we're gonna try to sneak and show Atraxa and Emrakul into play. We also have Omniscience as a backup. The rest of the deck is pretty much a few counter spells, lots of cantrips to assemble all the combo pieces, and some mana acceleration to hopefully get the combo in play as soon as possible. So yeah, that's our deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, we're on the draw. This hand would really like access to show and tell, so we can put in Omniscience. But as is, I think we still have a keeper, can turn one stock up. And then hopefully find what we're looking for. Opponent with an Architect, and there's show and tell. Alright, so let's do it. So at this point, probably don't need mana drain as much. Put in Omniscience. Opponent puts in a land. If they have a 1-mana counter spell, I guess I can ponder first. Or I could have brainstormed and then shuffled. But yeah, I'll grab the Emrakul. Can maybe stock up into the mana drain. Well, that's a turn 1 win. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have what looks like a promising hand. Can maybe mana drain to ramp out a sneak attack, and we've got Emrakul already. Got a fetch land to go with our ponder. Couple more mana drains. Might be overkill. I could grab the brainstorm, and then next turn keep up brainstorm if we don't need to mana drain, and then I can brainstorm shuffle. Yeah, I guess that's fine. And then we're drawing another mana drain in case they make us discard it, but it's going to be turn 1 channeler. Plus maybe a bauble. Alright, I'll just pass. Ornithopter resolves. And a Kuldotha rebirth, I see. So they're gonna make a bunch of 1/1s. Could be a problem. Yeah, that might be worth countering. Get another Steam Vents. We're only countering a 1-drop, so unless I draw land I wouldn't be able to cast Sneak Attack. Opponent mills another rebirth. And draw Spell Pierce. So I would like to hit my land drop for a turn. So I can start with maybe a ponder. Alright, I found a bunch of fetch lands. I'll play this and pass. Can mana drain if needed, which would set up sneak attack. Can also just brainstorm fetch. Another rebirth. Alright. I guess we'll mana drain once again. And then if I draw a land, I can cast Sneak Attack and put in Emrakul, which would be game over with our opponent at 15. They had Haragavan left. I am at 6. Find a Talisman. And can put in Sneak Attack. But then, if our opponent top decks a Lightning Bolt, we die. I think it's still worth it. Could also cast a Brainstorm to try and hit another land. If it's Ancient Tomb, I guess we can still Sneak Attack, activate, and win. So that's probably worth it. Alright, there's Ancient Tomb. So Cast Sneak Attack. Activate. Say hello to Emrakul. Annihilator 6. And hit you for 15. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. Turn 2 we can show and tell Atraxa, which is pretty decent. I'll try it. Hallowed Fountain untapped. So we might have to contend with a few counter spells. Emrakul, I guess we could show and tell into play as well. I'll keep it. Also don't want to show it to the opponent, because then they might suspect what we're up to. Alright, Strip Mine's gonna hit our lands. Can play a fetch land next to protect against Strip Mine. Take my turn. And draw Steam Vents. So we could try and go for it. The issue is an opposing mana drain, for instance. But it's not like we're packing a ton of counter spells ourselves that we can find. I think I'm down to Chrome Mox, pitching Atraxa, and then cast Stock Up. See how that plays out. Opponent's got a response. And mana drain. Alright, so hopefully they can't capitalize on the extra mana. The fairy can bounce Chrome Mox, but then we can still show and tell Emrakul. So that works for me. Never mind. They drew into a Strip Mine. So now I need to draw into a colored spell for Chrome Mox, which I did. And have them not remove Emrakul. Opponent gets another Strip Mine, but yeah, let's see if they can deal with a 15-15. Maybe if they have a Supreme Verdict next turn, thanks to the extra land they can cast it. Opponent's gonna Ponder, so they won't have the mana for a 4-mana Wrath. Opponent scoops it up, so Strip Mine and Mana Drain couldn't get it done. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. Our hand is decent. Could use some more fast mana. An Ancient Tomb would go a long way. But I think I'm still gonna try it. And then sequencing is tricky with the Chrome Mox and the fetch lanes. Opponent with Sacred Foundry, so it could be Boros Energy. Alright. And we drew Show and Tell. So how does that change my play? I don't want to expose Chrome Mox to removal yet. So I can just keep up Brainstorm. But I'm unlikely to cast it. I guess I could also play the fetch land and surveil end of turn. And this protects against Strip Mine on the off chance that they're running it. And then turn 2, Show and Tell Atraxa. Should be good enough to eventually get there. Alright, Voice of Victory would force issue on Brainstorm. I'm just gonna fetch a Surveil. So, all things considered, a relatively fair start. Don't need another Brainstorm. Find another Atraxa. So I can pitch Atraxa to the Chrome Mox, or we could keep an extra copy for Sneak Attack. Could also get rid of the Brainstorm here. Yeah, I mean, we'll find tons of cards with Atraxa, so this seems okay. Could also get rid of the Stock Up, honestly. Opponent puts in Gut. And our opponent concedes, so Atraxa good enough here. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw, facing a Lurrus deck of some variety. Our hand's got fast mana. Could stock up turn 1 if we pitch Brainstorm and Atraxa. Not sure if that's the way to go. I think it's keepable. See what our opponent's up to. They might hit us with a discard spell. Chain Lightning Face. Alright, so it's a burn deck. Now I could just Ponder, or I can still stock up, pitching Ponder and Brainstorm. Then we'll have a lot of mana. Wanna play the Chrome Mox in case I have Eidolon of the Great Revel, which punishes us for casting cheap spells afterwards. Yeah, I think I'm down. And then we still have Atraxa, which is great to both show and tell or sneak attack into play. Alright, so not the best set of hits. I guess we can try and ramp out Atraxa, but I'm not gonna have the right colors to do that. So yeah, kind of a swing and a miss. I'll probably go Spell Pierce and then the Talisman. Can use Misty to surveil, maybe find something useful. So yeah, at this point we want sneak attack. Talisman can make the extra red for that. And we want show and tell. Opponent's gonna bold face. And skewer. We're at 11. Mana Drain's a decent draw. So play Talisman still seems worth it, even though I might have to lose 1 to it. Have both Mana Drain and Spell Pierce available. And I'll surveil. I'm looking for one of the aforementioned cards. Lightning Strike, I'll Spell Pierce. And don't need Ancient Tomb. Alright, there's Show and Tell with Mana Drain backup. Opponent puts in a Barbarian Ring. And then go for stock up. Probably sneak attack over Omniscience. May need Ancient Tomb, although I kinda doubt it. So I could still cast the stock up. I think I just pass with Mana Drain up. Don't even feel the need to play the Talisman. A Lightning Strike me to 7. That's fine. They are playing black, so I'm gonna keep Mana Drain on the off chance that they draw into a removal spell for Atraxa, but yeah, now we can Mana Drain. They can put Lurrus in hand. Opponent just sacking the ring, and there we go. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. We have a hand that is missing Show and Tell. Sneak attack with Atraxa could be reasonable, although a little slow without any fast mana. So this one's kind of mediocre. Yeah, I think I mulligan on the draw. Well, we've got fast mana, just missing something to cheat Emrakul into play. So don't need Chrome Mox. Can go turn 1 Ancient Tomb, Talisman, Ponder. And then even sneak attack would be good. Turn 1 Bloodstained Mire, Chrome Mox. Pitching Shadow Skull. They are playing lands, so it cannot be the landless combo deck at least. But there might be some other... Maybe a Rakdos scam deck trying to use the free evoke elementals. Well, there's Show and Tell. So what I could do is keep it on top and then draw into it next turn, so it's safe from a discard spell, although a discard spell would just take Emrakul at this point. I guess it can protect against Inquisition of Kozilek specifically. So, yeah, I guess it's fine to just decline to shuffle. Our hand is all lands and an Emrakul, and next turn we can show and tell it into play. Not as good as casting it, of course, or immediately attacking with it. Magus of the Moon turns Ancient Tomb into a mountain. That's fine. Maybe saves us a bit of damage. Although we are relying on Talisman for blue mana at the moment, so it is still a little sketchy. So, Steam Vents enters untapped. And yeah, gotta hope they don't have answers to Emrakul. Opponent puts in a free Fable. Discarding Blood Moon, which is redundant. Yeah, Red's gonna struggle to deal with a 15-15. So our opponent just needs to put random permanents in play to sacrifice to the Annihilator. They can soak up one attack, fall to 1. If they sack the Magus, I can maybe use my fetch land again. Ooh, opponent channels Suckens on, so they have 2 more spirits they can sacrifice. Fair enough. But yeah, I also don't see my opponent dealing 16 on the way back, so I applaud their efforts, but I don't necessarily see them drawing out of it. So our opponent's at 1. Pass a turn. And that's a land. Good game indeed. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. This hand's got a turn 2 show and tell, although nothing to put in play at the moment. I think I still keep it. Can also play Talisman, turn 1. Opponent bobbles us. And fetches. Get Steam Vents for Tamio. Yeah, still gonna stick to the plan, and then I could even brainstorm with the Talisman if I'd like. So this Jeskai, maybe Control, maybe Artifacts. They're not running Lurrus as Companion, so they must have some more expensive permanents in there too. Could also be some sort of Underworld Breach combo deck. Opponent does have double blue up, so they could have their own mana drain. I'll cast a Brainstorm, can shuffle 1 card away at least. Found double Emrakul, so only need 1 of those. So play land and pass. Even though we are falling behind to this Tamio. Next turn I can maybe show and tell with mana drain backup. And then we can either mana drain ourselves or end of turn get a Surveil land. Alright, Cutter's fine. Not gonna fight over that. Tormod Script we also don't care about. So yeah, as long as I only have 1 piece of interaction, putting in Emrakul could be good enough. And don't need another fetch land. Okay, let's try. Show and tell. Make sure we tap correctly. Opponent with a Metallic Rebuke, and we can mana drain back. Now they also get to sneak something into play, so we'll see how bad it is. Jeskai Ascendancy makes sense. So there is a chance our opponent can just combo off now. Don't get to make use of the colorless mana. Repeals the Mox. So that's an Ascendancy trigger, as well as a redraw. Gets rid of another Rebuke. Tamiya transforms. Can also maybe get back the repeal. Although they need to plus with it first. Plays Emery. They can give it haste if they equip the cutter onto it, and then they can maybe combo off. The Mox only makes blue mana, so they need an extra red. Mishra's Bauble, trigger stuff. Discarding Flage. And they had a Mox Opal in hand. Alright, so we might be dead here, because they can move the cutter onto Emery, and then they can just keep going. Yeah, they needed the Mox Opal. In the meantime, they also just have lots of large creatures that can attack past Emrakul to still get there. So yeah, Show and Tell kind of backfired a little bit. Opponent being able to play the Ascendancy was able to maybe speed up the combo kill by a turn. So Emery can keep getting the Mox Opal back, sacrifice it to the Legendary rule, rinse and repeat, while drawing through the deck with Ascendancy and pumping the team. And then at some point their creatures will be large enough for lethal attack. Can let them go through the loop a few more times, but we should be dead on board here. Yeah, Emery needs to go up to 11 power to make it easy. Maybe they can escape Flage in the meantime. And get back Mox Opal. Cast Mox Opal. Currently Emrakul would have to chum block the Monk token. So yeah, I think we've seen enough. GG's, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have turn 2 stock up, Ponder on 1 as well, just looking for a way to cheat these into play. I'll try it. Could also wait on Ponder in case there's a Strip Mine turn 1, so I can at least guarantee stock up on 2. Might be better. Just a Flooded Strand. And opponent's gonna Ponder themselves. So I get to Surveil, cast Stock Up, and then I'll look for either Sneak Attack or Show and Tell. Show and Tell would be a little easier to deploy, since Sneak Attack is gonna be better if we have double red. Talisman isn't bad either, as a form of ramp, although I don't know if my opponent's necessarily gonna be strip mining me. Although it is still maybe better than drawing an extra land. So I think I keep it still. Can filter the Ancient 2 mana into colored mana. And we found Sneak Attack, and I'll take a Misty. So I'm a colored mana short of Sneak Attacking Emrakul next turn. Double Hallowed Fountain, so expecting a mana drain. So we'll test out the waters with Talisman. And then do I ponder or do I try sneak attack anyway? I think I ponder. Can also keep and then still shuffle with Misty. Alright, my own mana drain seems useful. So decline to shuffle. And then probably gonna end up shuffling anyway. Because I don't need another Atraxa. Opponent Plane cycles a Timeless Dragon. So that can eventually come back. So yeah, this might be a pure blue-white control deck. Opponent ponders again. I'll fetch and get a tapped Steam Vents. If they tap out, we can punish them with second Ancient Tomb. Maybe allowing us to sneak attack activate. Alright, so if I were to cast sneak attack, I could still have mana drain up, although I'll have too much colorless mana to be able to sneak attack, leave a mana drain, and still activate sneak attack. So I think I still want to go for it now. And then hopefully they can't remove the sneak attack. But I won't be able to activate it yet. So if I wait one more turn, maybe that's still worth it. But then they could have double counterspell up, which they're less likely to have now. So I think I still try and force this through. So cast sneak attack. Of course, if it resolves, we just win. Opponent had the counterspell. I will mana drain. Have sneak attack, but they could maybe still remove it before we get a chance to activate it. Alright, we get to untap. Perfect. So, yep, opponent's just gonna scoop it up, can put an Atraxa, put an Emrakul, that's easily lethal. Could have maybe considered casting stock up first on the off chance that they can somehow mess things up. But yeah, there we go, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. This hand is not amazing, missing fast mana and a finisher. Don't have a ton of disruption either. This is better. So, keep Show and Tell, Chromox, Emrakul. I guess I can ditch the Ponder and hope to draw another colored spell to imprint with Chromox. Yeah, I guess this is fine. And then for now just play Fetch Lane and pass. And then maybe next turn Show and Tell Emrakul. Tap land for my opponents. And Veil of Summer, so probably the mirror match, which means Show and Tell is a double-edged sword. Omniscience would let me cast Emrakul, so that's much better. So our opponent would need a very specific combination of basically their own Omniscience and some instants to break this up. So they also have Omniscience, but I have an uncounterable Emrakul. Maybe if they can counter the trigger, then they can combo off with their Omniscience, but nope. Our opponent scoops it up. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have turn 2 Show and Tell, so if Ponder can find Emrakul or Atraxa, we could be in business. Yeah, I'll try it. Could also play Flooded Strand if we're afraid of Strip Mine, but then I don't get to Ponder. So I'm gonna try. Alright, did not find what we were looking for, so this is a shuffle. And draw Chromox. I don't think I play it now. If we had it in our opener, I could have maybe kept up mana drain, but Now the goal is maybe ponder and then we can shuffle if we'd like. Alright, so I can put in Omniscience against turn 1 Swamp. That might be alright. Just use Ancient Tomb. And then maybe Ponder can find more action. We'll have Mana Drain backup. Opponent with an Exquisite Blood, so maybe part of a 2-card combo. And then I'm gonna shuffle. And draw Ancient Tomb, so swing and a miss. But we do have Omniscience in play, so any cantrips are great. Any of our Curve Toppers can win the game. And we still have a Mana Drain. Dark Ritual is acceptable. Priest of Gix. I could counter, or I can wait and see what else they're trying to deploy. I think I'm just gonna counter the Priest, because it's also a 2-powered creature that can apply a bit of pressure. And if I fail to find action cards in the next few turns, that could add up. So no way to spend my mana. I can surveil end of turn at least to improve my next draw. Another Dark Ritual. So they've got mana to burn. And a Blind Priest, so whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1. So I have to fetch now, otherwise their opponent goes infinite. And I can't lose any more life or I'm dead. Although casting an Emrakul could win the game. Take an extra turn. Attack. Get rid of your permanents. So yeah, pretty close one. Opponent assembled their 2-card combo. They just needed to either make us lose 1 or gain 1 themselves to kickstart the infinite. But there we go, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. We have a hand that needs probably a show and tell. No red mana to cast Sneak Attack or activate it. So this one's a little sus. Do have fast mana, that's nice. But if Ponder doesn't find show and tell, yeah, it's pretty poor. No real way to enable Chrome Mox if I want to hang on to my spells. So I'll take a mulligan. This one feels a bit better. So get rid of 1 card. Could make it a Brainstorm. Polluted Delta is fetching for a swamp. And Grief. So are we getting scammed here? Maybe reanimate on Grief. Take 2 cards away. Always painful when you already mulliganed. At least we've got a few cantrips, so we can always improve our hand. Reanimate Atraxa, of course, makes more sense. So now we're under some pressure. They would not have been able to pull that off with Emrakul, which gets shuffled back into our library. So our opponent finds another Reanimate, March, Barrow-Goyf. So I don't think I can play around Strip Mine. I'm just gonna Ponder. Opponent's got a 3-turn clock regardless of me fetching and shocking. Alright, so Sneak Attack could be part of the equation. I could draw into the Chrome Mox, play it, at this point maybe pitching Mana Drain. So I can Brainstorm, next turn I get to stock up. So I don't actually hate keeping... Can also use Brainstorm to hide the stock up from another discard effect. because we know they can reanimate Grief. Dark Ritual, so yeah, we're seeing a lot of action for Sorin. That's acceptable. Although with Atraxa they've got enough life to gain here that they can immediately transform it. Deals damage equal to the amount of life you gain this turn to any target, so that's actually going to present lethal next turn already. And I don't necessarily see myself comboing off. So yeah, that's tough. The synergy with our own Atraxa. They might have actually been able to just win the game with March, deal damage to your own Atraxa, pitching 2 black cards, which we know they had, and then Sorin would have been lethal. So I think they missed it, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter. Opponent griefs us, I get to Brainstorm. So I can hide. At this point, yeah, it doesn't matter because we know we're drawing dead. Can hide, stock up, and show and tell. They get to take sneak attack. I can cast, stock up, and then die. And yeah, we did not end up finding a replacement creature anyway. GG's. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have some fast mana. Turn 1 can play Talisman. Yeah, this seems fine. So Chromox, pitch, Ponder. Cast Talisman. And then next turn I can cast Sneak Attack. Could have actually considered playing Steam Vents instead of Islands, so that if I draw Ancient Tomb, I would have been able to immediately activate Sneak Attack as well. On the flip side, if they had a Strip Mine, I would have preferred Steam Vents in hand. So yeah, opponent's got a counterspell up, but that doesn't matter in the face of activating a Sneak Attack. Unless they can counter the trigger, which they don't. Find Emrakul. More goodies. So we can activate, put an Emrakul. And that could be game over. Alright, not bad. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have Sneak Attack plus Atraxa. Pretty slow without any fast mana. So I would have to Brainstorm into Ancient Tomb, maybe Chromox. And even then, it's a little bit questionable. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna cut it, although it is close. Brainstorm can change a lot. Yeah, you know what, I'll try it. Can start by maybe fetching the Surveil land, and then next turn I can Brainstorm Shuffle. Opponent does nothing turn 1. I guess they're discarding to hand size to maybe reanimate. That would make sense. So then I'm looking for a counterspell maybe. So maybe I should be casting the Brainstorm, even if I only get to shuffle 1 card. Did not find Mana Drain, but I did find a Show and Tell, although it could be a double-edged sword in this matchup. Yeah. Interesting spots. So, I don't think I want Show and Tell. Opponent does indeed discard a reanimation target. I'm just gonna cast a Talisman, get closer to sneak attacking. Because yeah, I was hoping to find a mana drain so we could counter the reanimate, which they're likely to cast here. So this might also be the land combo deck without any actual lands in it to combo with Charbelcher or with Balustrade Spy. Could see Dark Ritual into Sorin, but then I don't expect them to make the play they did on turn 1. Right, they can grief me. And yeah, if they have reanimate, they can just reanimate Atraxa now. Takes a sneak attack. Well, we have double stock up to find a replacement. Opponent pitching reanimate to the Chromox, to Dark Ritual, into Balustrade Spy. Alright, so they were just checking if the coast was clear to combo. And what's their combo? World Spine Worm, shuffled back. Silver Smote and Prize Amalgam with Creeping Chill. So they have lethal for next turn. I do get a top deck. Although at this point, I'm not sure what saves me. If I still had Sneak Attack in hand, I could have maybe drawn Ancient Tomb or Chromox to put in Atraxa and try and stabilize. But yeah, we seem very much dead. Stock up. Find Show and Tell, Emrakul. GG's. So yeah, this was definitely a matchup where we needed a counter spell. But our opponent happened to also have the Grief, so if we had a mana drain in hand, it would not have worked. So their hand was just too perfect. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have a hand that's maybe missing some fast mana. Unless we can maybe mana drain something, then I can set up Sneak Attack Emrakul. I think it's still worth it, but far from perfect. Play Scalding Tarn to play around Strip Mine as well. Opponent on an artifact deck. So we can Surveil. Don't necessarily expect Strip Mine. And then Show and Tell for Omniscience would be great. So yeah, just trying to counter any 1-mana card they can present. Opponent passes, so they're not playing into it. And yeah, this is getting a little awkward. Discard to hand size. Maybe a sneak attack at this point. Now, even if they make something uncounterable with the Mistrais Village, I can still mana drain just to get the mana. That's not going to change. As we discard Omniscience. What a strange game of Timeless. So make something uncounterable. Stock up. So I'm gonna mana drain. Just to get 2 mana or 3 mana. And then next turn I get to Show and Tell Omniscience, cast Emrakul, if all goes to plan. And hope their Show and Tell card isn't as backbreaking. We both have Omniscience, so yeah, I mean, Emrakul is uncounterable, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they can counter the trigger. We see Stifle. Although I also have Spell Pierce in hand. So we get an extra turn. Emrakul is uncounterable. Wanted to cast Emrakul before stocking up in case I had a bounce spell for Omniscience somehow. So opponent's going to draw 2. Do I fight over this with the Spell Pierce? So they don't seem to have the answer in hand yet, which means I probably should just counter. Now I can stock up, find another stock up, and maybe ponder over Spell Pierce now. Or I can keep Spell Pierce in case they stifle the Annihilator trigger. And our opponent has seen enough. Emrakul gets to attack, destroy all of their permanents, and then we have Omniscience, the opponent doesn't. And there we go, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We've got cantrips, one piece of interaction, no fast mana, no combo pieces, so this feels a bit weak. Show and Tell Omniscience, no fast mana though, so still pretty questionable, but I'll try it. And then, do I keep double Show and Tell? At this point might be better than stock up, because that way if they have a discard spell, I guess I can take Atraxa and then I may want the extra card draw. I'll try this. Play fetch lands, protect against strip mine, maybe get a surveil land. Bobble from my opponent. So some sort of artifact deck. Don't care about the graveyard hate. But we do have to watch out for counter spells like Metallic Rebuke, which they currently cannot cast. So if I can surveil into Ancient Tomb, that could win me the game. Or a Chrome Mox. Oh, that's an Ancient Tomb. So no whammies. Put an Omniscience. Opponent with Thought Monitor to draw 2, so now they could have Metallic Rebuke available to counter. So I'll start with stock up. Finding Emrakul, which is uncounterable. Another stock up, or I could grab Mana Drain. Doesn't really matter anymore at this point. Cast Emrakul. And this is cast and not put in play with Sneak Attack, so we get to keep it. Play Atraxa. And our opponent has seen enough. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have a one-lander, which is not ideal. I do get to ponder, look for more lands, and then, yeah, Talisman to cast Sneak Attack feels a little slow. I don't think I can keep this. Alright, this time we've got Chrome Mox. Cast turn 1 Talisman, turn 2 we can stock up. I do need to pitch something to the Chrome Mox, but maybe I get rid of a land here. And then pitch Brainstorm, turn 1 Talisman, turn 2 stock up. Or I can keep the land, get rid of Sneak Attack, but then I need to find a replacement. Yeah, this seems fine. Still gonna cast a Talisman, so we're guaranteed 3 mana for stock up next turn. Alright, we'll see what we're up against. Let's tap Agadeem's Awakening, so a landless combo deck. Yeah, those can go off pretty quickly. So stock up finds no lands, strangely, but an Emrakul, and do I want Spell Pierce or Ponder? Spell Pierce can maybe counter a Charbelcher, but they could already cast it next turn with a Dark Ritual, so then it's too late. So then I probably need Ponder to hit my land drops. Let's see for that. Dark Ritual into Charbelcher, so yeah, Spell Pierce was going to be too late. Now they still need to untap in order to activate it and win the game, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to stop that with this hand. Unless, yeah, no, I need land plus Show and Tell, which isn't happening. Well, I guess I do have 2 Ponders, so I could go find Ancient Tomb and find Show and Tell, and then Omniscience into Emrakul would still do it. But yeah, that's a miss, so I have to shuffle. Because I specifically need Ancient Tomb and Show and Tell, so I can't keep anything else. So we'll shuffle. And that's a Steam Vent, so yeah, that's game over now. But we'll see what's next. Did find the Ancient Tomb, but we also needed Show and Tell as it turns out. I guess there's still a chance they don't have a third land and I'll get to untap, but that seems unlikely. So then, is Ancient Tomb good enough? I guess it is. It allows me to next turn Sneak Attack activate. And then I can play this tapped. Alright, did my best. But they've got the land and Charbelcher's game. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have a pretty good hand. Can stock up turn 2. And then hopefully find some more fast mana to get out Sneak Attack. For now, play Talisman. Hope that they don't destroy my land. Right, it's the artifact deck. And no play, so we have options. I can just cast Sneak Attack. Show and Tell could be a little bit risky if they're also on some sort of combo deck, because I would expect more action from the artifact deck on turn 1. So I kind of like just casting the Sneak Attack, and then next turn I can sneak both Atraxa and Emrakul, and we don't take any risks with Show and Tell. Don't expect any enchantment removal. So then next turn we can just activate twice for the win. Yeah, I've been impressed with Ancient Tomb plus Talisman opener. That's pretty satisfying. Another bridge and an Emry. So probably more of a combo deck. Well, I guess it could just be blue-red artifacts after all. So anything else? We get to untap. And let's get busy sneaking. Give you an Atraxa, which finds another Atraxa. Could also maybe Show and Tell Omniscience. So I can keep the Emrakul in play, but that seems unnecessarily risky if they can maybe do something broken, and they seem dead on board here. If I just sneak the Emrakul. Alright, sweet. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have turn 1. I guess I don't have another blue spell to be able to keep up mana drain. But we do have a turn 2 Sneak Attack on the play. I think that's worth keeping. Play Scalding Tarn to play around a potential Strip Mine. And then we get to land Sneak Attack with Emrakul in hand, so yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Opponent on maybe a landless combo deck, which is known to combo pretty quickly as well. And Grief, that's unfortunate. So that's gonna take probably the Emrakul. So then we need to draw into another one. They could also take the Chromox, but actually goes for mana drain, wow. So they're more concerned with their own combo resolving. Actually didn't have the double blue to cast the mana drain. So, the question is, do I still go for Sneak Attack? Because then they might just kill me on turn 2. Although with a landless deck, unless they activate Charbelcher, which is unlikely this early, they would still probably need to untap to win the game. Brainstorm, I guess, is okay. It means I'll be able to maybe draw into another creature after we Emrakul, because Emrakul by itself isn't going to be lethal. Pitch Sneak Attack. Cast Sneak Attack. And they could have another Grief to now take Emrakul, I suppose, but then it's also good to have Brainstorm to try and to redraw it. Alright, another tap land. Do we see a Dark Ritual, maybe? Another Grief pitching Balustrade Spy. So that's 2 spies gone. Goodbye Emrakul, shuffled back, so good chance of redrawing it. And Show and Tell not super helpful. Now the only issue with Brainstorm is that I could Brainstorm lock myself if we don't find a shuffle effect or another cantrip. But here goes nothing. Oh, there's Emrakul. So put these back, can even shuffle. But for now, I'm gonna try and remove some of their permanents, even if it's not just game over. So opponent's at 5, and they're just gonna scoop it up here. Alright, so we got to see this blue-red Sneak and Show combo deck in action. And yeah, it's nice that you have 8 different ways of cheating out your expensive creature spells and potentially win the game as early as turn 1, as we were able to showcase. But yeah, of course, Sneak Attack is 4 mana, so sometimes that can be a little too expensive for the format, but that's why we're also trying to ramp it out with our various free mana-producing artifacts, and Ancient Tomb also goes a long way. So overall, still quite happy with how the deck turned out. If you were to try this in best of 3, I recommend including a green splash. Can maybe even include a blue-green dual land like Breeding Pool in the main deck, making a green splash pretty trivial. And then you can include Veil of Summer, which is pretty important against other blue decks with lots of counter spells, or can also stop opposing discard spells from hitting you. So that's a very powerful card. That's definitely worth including in the 75. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's gameplay. I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.